What is up, guys? My name is Taylor. As many of you know, I'm from TGN, and today I'll be showing you how to make nice, good 3D text in Photoshop and Cinema4d. So the first thing you want to do, I'll be doing this in the format of a YouTube logo, a width of 500, a height of 500, resolution of 72, and put these on pixels and pixels/inch in 8-bit color, because if you put it to 32-bit, you can't put on layers and then set it to overlay. Click OK, and the first thing I'm going to do, just kind of do a simple little background here for you guys, just so it kind of looks a little better. Then for this text, you want to come in, you want to select the text object, select your area, just say what you want it to say. I'm going to do Taylor, make it a little bit bigger, come on, there we go, and drag it over, place it there, just adjust it to my liking. Okay, so now what you want to do, you want to have your text layer selected, and you can change the color once you've already got it to here if you don't want to delete the layer by going over, double clicking the layer, either going to gradient overlay if you want it to have a kind of a cooler effect, or color overlay. I'm going to do gradient, change my colors to, oh, right there, I already have it, and then I change this to radial and that to there. Then I click reverse. No, I don't. I click align with layer and change the size down, and then I put it on overlay. No, I don't. No, well, I would put it on overlay if it was a texture. So now I have that. Then what you want to do to get back to the 3D part, you want to come up to all your little drop down menus here. You want to click on 3D, and I don't know how to pronounce this very well. I think it's repose or something like that. Text layer, and if you don't have this, I think it has to do with your graphics card, but you can just pause, you can just skip ahead to the Cinema4d part of the video. And so now what you want to do is you want to come in here, you can play with this, but I just like to click the default one, change the depth to whatever fits your comfort, and then see if you can see back here, that's kind of big for this size of the text. And so we're just gonna put it there, change the view to, I like doing front, just my opinion. I like changing the lights to dawn, no, daylights, yeah. And that's pretty much it for here, so click OK. And as you can see, it has a lot of depth here. And also, I will be showing you guys just kind of some tips on making a nice logo, or just in plain GFX. When you do something, you don't want to overdo a brush. Like, I see a lot of people, they just kind of come in and start overdoing it, like, a lot. You don't want to do that, because then it ends up looking it doesn't look as good. So as you can see, I'm just putting one of them, going over here to edit, transform, rotate 90 degrees. I'm just putting one squiggly line over this. Then I'm going to go back into my brush and I'm going to change it. Don't overdo too much of one thing. Like, if you, like, I have cracks, like these, I cover the whole background in these sometimes, like, just cover it. Oh, that's really big. And so I just cover, like, that's something you can't really overdo unless you put it too thick of a layer. But another thing I like doing is lightning strikes, and I like doing kind of like a purplish blue on there, and just kind of like, you know, play with that, because as you see, that looks pretty nice, this color. I like it. And change the size down, you know, make them cross, do different ones. And so, you know, this is pretty much just the basics of a this is kind of the basics of doing GFX. You don't want to overdo it. Because it looks nice to an extent. if you do it like to the point of, oh my god, it's a lot, then it just looks horrible and overdone. Like, let's say if I just went in here right now and just started going, woo. That was my first background I ever made. Horrible, right? So now I'm going to pause this video and open up Cinema4d. I will be right back. Okay everyone, we are back and we are now in Cinema4d. So the first thing you want to do once you have it open is you want to go into render settings, output. I like to change this to 1280 by 720. Make sure your frame rate, well, you don't have to mess with anything, just make sure your frames is 0 starting and 0 ending. Go over here to save. Now this part you have to pay attention to. Sorry about the messed up part right here. It's just my Cinema4d is weird and I have to put it in 256 colors. So let's just save this as test. Save. Then this is a mandatory. Save it as a PNG file. Alpha channel, straight alpha. And then these are just kind of my personal settings. Set it to best. 1x1, 2x2, effect. No, I'm actually not gonna do all these effects in here for this tutorial. And then now what you want to do is you want to go into MoGraph, because I do all that other extra stuff to make the text shiny on my backgrounds and stuff. I already have a tutorial on that for this, so you want to go into here, and what I like doing is I'll make it Taylor again, and then a nice font to use. I'll do Impact. I use that a lot, and I also use Raise 1. So I'll change this to Impact. I change this to about, I'll do 60 for this tutorial. Then I copy, Control-C, Control-V to paste. I change the depth to half of 60, which is 30 for some of you that don't know your math. Go over here to the caps bar, fill it cap, and you can mess around with the radius and stuff. I'm going to set mine, I'm going to leave it to 5 since it's a small text. And then what you want to do is, a lot of people, they zoom around to the side, and I don't do that. I just kind of come up to a point where I can see the old text, the bigger text and the smaller text. I pull it back to where the bigger text is exposed in the front, but the smaller one is still available at the top. That way when you come to the front, you see the smaller one, but then when you add your colors, as I'll show you here in a minute, it looks a lot nicer. You have the ability to have two colors on one text pretty much. So I put it to red, and as you can see, this is still like a shiny silver, and I see a lot of people mess with the brightness and stuff. You don't have to do that. If you want kind of a color that looks like this with like a black, you go to the texture drop down menu, that little arrow, click Fresnel. You can exit out, and what I like doing is dragging the color I like on the back one, and then doing either like a nice white on the front one, or like a nice black or gray on the front one, and you just do the same thing. You don't mess with this color, don't mess with that color, and you just go to Fresnel and you have a nice color. So the reason why you have to come in here and you put alpha channel and straight alpha is because if you keep those unchecked, and like let's say you do that but you have it as a JPEG, when you come into Photoshop you'll have a black background around your text and it won't look nice at all. So then you just render it out. It'll render. I will drag this over into Photoshop for you guys. Delete that. So no, go. See, I dragged this over here, and as you can see, it has no background, so it fits nicely on the text. You can place it wherever, and you can still see the things behind it. So this has been just a basic tutorial on how to make nice, good 3D text. Watch my other tutorials on how to get good, shiny text in Cinema4d. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Taylor from TGN. Peace.